Now, the Edmonton market has been crazy in 2022. The first quarter, we saw all kinds of unique situations happen. We saw very low inventory, not many homes on the market. We saw massive amounts of buyers coming to market. This created a real backlog. We had buyers that would show up to a listing or to a showing that day, and they'd be lined up out the door. We would have 6, 7, 8 lists or 8 offers by the end of the day, and the home would be sold for much above asking price in many cases. So that was the first quarter of 2022. Has April been the same way? We're about to check that out. Thanks for joining Edmonton Market Report, and we're going to see what's gone on for April 2022. Now, as we take a look, these are the stats we can see up here, April 2022. It's the Realtors Board, or sorry, the Realtors Association of Edmonton. Now, I don't really like looking at the average selling price. I'm going to explain why that is. Basically, it gives us a half decent guide over a longer period of time, but the Canadian Real Estate Association has come up with a much better tool. They refer to it as the HPI. Basically, it's a price index, the housing price index. And that takes into many different factors into calculating what that price is. And when graphed appropriately, we're able to see what has exactly gone on the market. So I'll get to that in a little bit. Right now, what we're going to look at is, remember earlier I had mentioned that the new home listings or new listings on the market there hadn't been many. Well, now all of a sudden for April, we had 3,519 new listings come on market. That's an increase of about 11% over March. So we are definitely catching up. And actually, we're surpassing it. If we look at the year to date, we have had 11,000 homes come on the market. So year over year, that's almost a 12% increase. So with the inventory increasing, that should help, in theory, stabilize the market, so long as the buyers haven't gone nutty. So let's go over and look at the total number of sales, which we're going to see right over here. So sales for April are actually down about 11%. We only saw 2,118 homes come on the market, sell and firm up. And year to date, though, we are still ahead. So for the first 4 months of this year, we've had 7,160 homes sell, which is a 10% increase, or almost a 10% increase this year versus 2021. Now, part of the reason, my theory behind this, is there were threats of rate increases. So with these threat of rate increases, people were rushing to market to make sure that they can get the cheaper rate. We have seen a couple rate increases happen. We are expecting there to be some bigger rate increases as well. Watch for a coming video on that. I'm going to be able to explain very shortly on what I'm looking to have happen in the real estate market as far as mortgage rates. This is going to be really important because this not only will affect what you pay every month, but it's going to dramatically affect what you qualify for. So do me a favor and like this video, subscribe, and you'll be able to be notified of when that new video comes up. Now, if I just switch over to the HPI, what we're looking at here for the house price index, we're saying the benchmark price is about 358. Now we can see a steady incline in this benchmark price. So this is what we've seen since basically the new year. All right, so January, as we're seeing it, prices have increased fairly substantially. Now we have a 2% month over month benchmark HPI. We have about a 9.7 year over year. So we're about 9.7% higher at the end of April this year than the end of April last year. I explained briefly why I think we saw such a dramatic increase occur. There are some other outside influences that are happening. We are starting to see people get back to work. We are starting to see a little bit more money being able to be spent. And so that is also exciting in the market. Now, I try and keep these videos to roughly, a couple minutes so that I don't overwhelm you and geek out on stats. But basically what we're looking at is we are seeing a steady increase in this benchmark number. That is a good sign for housing prices. And as far as the market goes, we are seeing it slow down a little for the number of sales. That's going to make it a little bit more manageable for the buyers out there. And maybe we're not going to have 8, 10 offers at the end of the day when you come on the market for the first time. Now that also is going to tell us that pricing is going to be essential. All of a sudden, when there's more inventory on and less sales occurring, we do need to be aggressive in pricing. Something that is always fun to see is what the highest sales were. I'm just popping back on here. So we got single family, highest single family home that sold in April was $5,000. The most expensive condo was $1 million. And the most expensive duplex or townhouse row house was $1.5 million. Now, average time on market is something else that many people ask. So now that we're back here, single family time on market this year over last year has decreased. It's decreased by almost 20%, over 20%. So we're down to 23 days on market on average. A condo has decreased from 54 days to 46 days on average. Duplex and townhouses decreased from 39 to 25. So we can see that is that $300,000 to $400,000 price range that really lit up in the first quarter of this year. And so for an overall average time on market for the Edmonton real estate is around 31 days on market, which is a decrease of a little over a week from 39 days on market. So thanks for checking out this month's market update. If you would like more detailed stats on your neighborhood with the HPI index, we have the ability to actually go into a specific neighborhood and talk about specific types of homes. So for example, if you're looking for a bungalow, or if you have a bungalow in Gold Bar and you'd like to see specifically what's happening in there, we have that ability to be able to use this HPI tool to show you specifically what you can expect in the neighborhood. Because every neighborhood is dramatically different. Highland Park is going to be different than Gold Bar, which is going to be different than Windermere. And the amount of sales and what we're seeing trending in those markets can be dramatically different. So if you have any questions on what's going on in your neighborhood or any other neighborhood, please don't hesitate to reach out. My name is Jason Beattie. I'm your realtor with eXp Realty, because your move matters.